Have you ever looked at your coding books and seen these little notations that say things like AHA Q1 2019 or CPT Assist April 10/3 and wondered what the heck those mean? Well, they're coding references, and I'm going to tell you today about what they are, the CPT Assist and the Coding Clinic. Hey there, I'm Victoria. I'm a medical coder, auditor, educator, content creator, and national speaker, and on my channel, I provide tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you be successful in a medical coding career. If you're looking for more information on medical coding, I would highly encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get alerts when I post new episodes. There's actually a lot more guidance to medical coding than what's just in the books. Problem is, though, if we put every single reference in there, the book would be an encyclopedia versus just a book of codes like the CPT book. When you see references in the CPT book to CPT Assist, that is a separate but official guidance, and you do have to pay separate for that. If they bundled everything together, not only would it be an encyclopedia, but then it would also have the encyclopedia price, right? The CPT book is published by the AMA, and CPT Assistant is also published by the AMA, so it is official CPT guidance. It's just not included in the book because it would make the book way too massive. And because it is a lot of separate references that they have to maintain, there is a separate price for getting a subscription to CPT Assist. Typically, they release 12 issues a year of CPT Assist, and it clarifies more information about specific CPT codes, particularly ones that there are questions submitted to the AMA regarding. And sometimes they also release some special editions as well. There was one that just came out recently in regards to COVID-19 vaccinations. Now, when you buy a subscription to CPT Assist, it's basically a magazine that they send you every month. It's $199 unless you are an AMA member, and then you can get it for $149. But they'll only send you the issues for that subscription from when you got the subscription to the next year. It's a year-long subscription. So obviously, as a coder, you're going to need a lot more than just the upcoming year. You're going to need all that back information because, you know, there's all those references in the CPT book. So if you want to get CPT Assist online, it's $250, they have it. Or if you're an AMA member, it's currently $187.50. Now, there are programs like Codify and your encoder programs where you can add on CPT Assist, but they have to license it from the AMA. So they typically will charge around what the AMA charges because they have to pay licensing fees to them in order to add it on to your encoder program. In your CPT book, they make those little references to the CPT Assistant. So if it says in there, for example, February 18:10, that means it is the February 2018 issue, and that reference to that CPT code starts on page 10. You may also see references to CPT changes in Insider View, and that is a book that the AMA publishes every year to explain the rationale and give some clinical scenarios regarding the changes that they have made that year for CPT. Coding Clinic is published by the AHA every quarter, and there's an ICD-10-CM/PCS Coding Clinic and a HCPCs Coding Clinic. The ICD-10-CM and PCS is pretty long. I think the last edition was over 100 pages on the PDF. And again, it's licensed, so if you want to add it to your encoder, like a Codify or an Encoder Pro, to add it on to like a Codify subscription for AAPC members, it would be $539, because again, they have to pay that licensing fee to the AHA for it. For non-members, it's $559. And that is a 12-month subscription. If you go right onto the Coding Clinic website, it tells you that for an annual subscription for 12 months, that grants you the Coding Clinic for ICD-10-CM and PCS and HCPCs in a downloadable PDF to view on your computer. For both ICD-10 and HCPCs, it would be $550 a year for one user. But if you're a member of the AHA, then it's only $375 for a single user. And then they also have this unlimited access, and it says unlimited access gives you all the benefits of an annual subscription with more flexibility. You can browse by topic, year, and create bookmarks. You can view questions and answers from related coding clinics right on the screen without having to look at individual newsletters. But that seems to be quite pricey per single user for ICD-10 and HCPCs. It's $1,760 for a non-AHA member, or $1,220 currently for an AHA member. Now, as a coder, you're going to want this information, right? And depending on your specialty, though, you might not need all of the information. And it's kind of expensive. I mean, if we're looking at one user, we're in the ballpark of $700-800 a year for coder. So if you have a staff of 20, 50, 100 coders, that's going to be a lot of subscriptions, and it's a huge cost. What I've seen a lot of organizations do is they'll maybe buy 1 or 2 licenses and assign it to a coding supervisor, or they'll assign it to maybe a head auditor, and those people, as they need to get that information, maybe if, you know, Susie over in GI has a question, she's like, hey, I have this GI thing that I'm coding, can you pull up the coding clinic for me and we can look at it together so I can make sure that I'm coding this in the most accurate way possible. And then they'll do it that way. If you're someone who wants to open up independently as a coder, as an auditor, start your own billing office, this is one of the costs that you have to think about, because that's an annual subscription that you have to pay to the AMA and the AHA every single year. Now, if you're a brand new coder and you're just starting to learn, don't worry too much about the CPT Assist and the coding clinic. First off, they're not going to ask you questions on your CPC or any credential exams based off of information that you can't already access in the books just by looking it up. So they're not going to ask you about things that you would only know if you've read a certain CPT Assist or coding clinic. So don't freak out and think, oh my God, I just spent $300 on books and now you're telling me there's more references I need to purchase. In most cases, no. Your employer will have some sort of access to them. And that really does depend on your employer. There are some employers out there that, because of their particular culture, they just think, oh, well, you're a coder, you should know everything. You know, you have the books and that's all you need. Other organizations do have a much better understanding of what coding really entails, and that it is more than just utilizing your books, that you need additional references, that you have to look up LCDs, you have to look up NCI edits, you have to look up CPT Assist and coding clinics, because those are official guidance. And if you're only coding for one specialty, like if you just code neurosurgery or you just code podiatry, there's going to be a limited set of those guidelines that you're going to need. So you probably won't need a whole $700 subscription. Maybe if you have people that you can network with that can kind of bounce ideas off you and go, oh yeah, this is what it says in CPT Assist, this is what it says in coding clinic. That way you know you're coding things correctly, but not having to spend the $700-800 a year on these subscription services when you're only going to use a tiny small portion of them, right? But if you're someone who's working in an auditing role or in a compliance role, or you want to practice independently, that's something you need to think about, is getting access to those resources and also the cost that's associated with them. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're a coder, let me know in the comments below. Do you have access to CPT Assist and Coding Clinic? Do you have an individual access, or do you kind of have to share someone else's and ask them to get the information for you? I will see you in the next video, and until then, just keep on coding on.